Hi everyone, in this video we will be talking about the importance for policymakers to adequately factor land use and human diets into climate mitigation strategies. So successfully mitigating climate change will require more carbon to be stored in forests and other native vegetation, even while the world will have to produce as much as 50% more food every year in order to feed the growing population. A recent study finds that governments and researchers routinely underestimate the potential for changes to land use, and human diets to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of global warming. Published in Nature last month, the research suggests that policymakers are not adequately accounting for the amount of carbon that could be stored in forests and other natural vegetation if those lands weren't used for producing food, and are also failing to recognize the carbon emissions that would result from increased agricultural production. The fundamental problem is that policymakers and researchers have not truly confronted the fact that global land area is limited. Using any hectare for one purpose comes at the cost of not using the other, and these opportunities costs have not been truly accounted for. What changes to the ways we use land would make the biggest contribution to solving climate crisis by increasing carbon storage while meeting the world's food needs at the same time. What is needed is to make more efficient use of land for all purposes. And the problem with our diet is that food is being processed, food is being thrown away and not used again, as in composted, and also cattle has been are releasing more greenhouse gases because of the way they're being raised. And so there are other ways to farm meat and food, and so we need to switch to these more sustainable ways. And this sustainable way is found through something called permaculture, because permaculture cares for the people and cares for the planet at the same way. So these skills and techniques will help create a healthy planet as well as healthy people by doing things in the natural way. So researchers have developed a method that they call the carbon benefits index for estimating the average amount of greenhouse gases emitted globally by the production of each food type. The index takes into account carbon opportunity cost as well as factoring the amount of carbon that would have been stored in forests and savannas that are converted to agricultural land. The researchers say that these lost opportunities for natural carbon storage are responsible for somewhere between 20 to 25% of the greenhouse gases in Earth's atmosphere. Policymakers, farmers, and private companies can then use this information to determine whether shifting from producing one food to another or converting their fields to biofuel crops or forestry reforestation can generate more carbon benefits and thus help mitigate climate change. Using this method, researchers determined that diets in wealthy nations are responsible for more than for far more greenhouse gas emissions than are usually accounted for. It was concluded that the average European person's diet produces 9 billion metric tons of greenhouse gases every year, which is equivalent to the greenhouse gas emissions levels typically assigned to each European's consumption of all goods, including energy, as the authors say in their study. Shifting from a diet based on meat and dairy to other foods could reduce these emissions by 70%. The researchers report also that more efficient use of land for producing meat like beef, lamb would have substantial impacts as well. The study shows that improving grazing practices, just as a single hectare of land in Brazil from poor to medium quality could boost global carbon storage as much as planting a hectare of forest in Europe or in the States. So I want to talk about permaculture over here and why we need permaculture. Permaculture is a sustainable way for planting, for making food, for building homes, for storing water, and basically because it looks at the benefits to the society, the benefits to the economy, and the benefits to the environment. So it does inspire eco-innovation, and it strengthens the local economy and promises a better tomorrow. At the same time, it's a proactive approach to sustainability. There's always solutions with permaculture, and it strengthens everything that is local. It also mitigates the climate change and also opens the door for a green economy. And therefore, what we want to do over here in this course is continuously we will be looking at how permaculture is going to help us design better cities and how it's going to create more independent and resilient neighborhoods and cities. So permaculture actually looks at climate, water, water storing, soil quality, food quality, and making food, creating shelter and homes, energy, generating energy, and also permaculture ethics, which means caring for the people, caring for the economy and fair share, and caring for the environment. So all these will come together, and this is how we will be looking at every problem, and also how to try to find solutions by looking at all three of these lenses together. We're going to add to that something called biomimicry, looking at how nature does that in order to get the perfect sustainable solutions at the end.